Big Sister, the story of Ruth Waynes and her problems as a woman, as well as a nurse, a wife, and a mother. Today's episode in just a moment after this message from our sponsor. For some time now, ever since John broke off his analysis, he and Diane have been seeing a good deal of each other. Diane isn't sure why he's been spending so much time with her, but she does know that he's been more unpredictable than ever. Some evenings have been not merely quiet, but very pleasant. And some evenings, like tonight, have been strained and difficult. It's a few minutes before 11 now, and they're just leaving Carnegie Hall.
Nice concert.
Well, I thought so. I'm sorry you didn't like it.
What? I just said it was very nice.
Yes, I heard you. But I learned a long time ago not to go by what you say, but the way you say it.
Then let me say it again, differently. I was ecstatic, Diane, enraptured, enthralled. And if you'll stop a minute, I'll get down on my knees and thank you. You and the hospital for those free tickets.
John, don't snap my head off. All I meant was you don't have to be polite, not with me.
Well, that's nice to know.
Look, John, just what is wrong with you? Normally you do enjoy concerts very much. Was it the program?
Look, Diane, one of the reasons I gave up Dr. Foster was because I was getting pretty sick and tired of his trying to analyze my every mood and word. Watching everything I said and did and trying to decide why I said it and did it.
All right. Skip it.
No, I won't skip it. I suspect that the reason I do feel this way all of a sudden is, well, because I'm jealous.
Jealous? Of whom? Of what?
Oh, what's his name? That pianist.
But why?
Why? Well, because he's young. Because he's just starting his career. His whole future is still ahead of him. He's probably waited all his life for tonight, and now there it is. And where am I, Diane? What am I? Is it any wonder that I resent him, that I resent everything right now?
I see. Well, it's honest, though just a little foolish.
Thanks, that helps.
Well, it is foolish. How can you possibly compare music and medicine? How can you compare the training and experience you need in the one with a natural talent in the other? You hear of hundreds of prodigies in music, children who play almost as well at 12 as they're ever going to play, but when did you ever hear of anyone who really attained stature in medicine before they were 35 or 40?
Diane, please, you wrapped it up very neatly just a minute ago. I was honest, but idiotic. Now, let's start with you, mind?
All right, John. Let's.
Oh, I'm awfully tired all of a sudden. I'm afraid I don't feel like walking anymore.
Oh. Well, that's all right, too.
You don't look so devastated, Diane. Would you like some coffee? Or something to eat? Well, we could go into that restaurant there.
Well, if you're sure you're not just being polite, throwing the poor dog a bone.
Oh, for heaven's sake, Diane, will you stop that?
All right. Let's go in.
The story of Big Sister will continue after this message from our sponsor.
This table all right, man?
Yes, fine.
Hi there. Mind if I join you?
Well, Steve.
What are you doing here?
Just looking for company. Can I sit down?
Oh, by all means.
Thanks. What did you think of the concert?
So what? Were you there, too?
Sure. I got a real thing about music.
I don't believe it.
Oh, Diane, how can you say that? I'm afraid you don't know our friend Steele at all. Despite his apparent simplicity, he's a man of great depths and sensitivity. What did you think of the Bartok Concerto, Steve?
What was that?
The last number. Did you like it? Did you find it just a little, derivative?
John.
You think I'm being unnecessarily rude, Diane? I repeat that you really don't know Steele. Don't you realize that he was combining business and pleasure, that he's been following us all evening?
Were you?
Sure was, sister.
But why?
Because I felt like it.
Oh, now, Steele, don't be so modest. That's not the only reason. Don't you see that he's had a call, Diane? He's become a self-appointed guardian of public morals.
Oh, John, will you stop that?
Why?
Because this bickering is pretty small and petty.
Well, I'm sorry you don't approve, Diane. May I remind you that you don't have to stay here, or would you rather that I left?
No, I wouldn't. I just wish you'd try and snap out of it. Stop behaving this way.
It's okay, Diane. Doesn't bother me at all.
Well, unfortunately, you bother me, Steele, so if you'll both excuse me.
All right, John. Oh, it's no use. We'll all go.
My car's right over there. Can I give the two of you a lift?
Well, that's very nice of you, Steele. If you don't mind, you can take Diane home, back to the hospital.
No trouble to take you where you want to go, too.
Thanks, but I'm walking.
Well, I'll walk with you, John.
No one's walking with me. I'm going alone. Good night.
All right, Steele. Which is your car?
This one right here. Quite a place.
Would you like to come in? I usually do my entertaining in one of the operating rooms, but if that won't bother you...
Oh, thanks. Some other time. Have fun tonight?
Fun. Well, you do use words carelessly, don't you? It was thrilling, stimulating, inspiring, fine music and warm companionship. What more could a girl ask for? It was an evening I'll never forget.
What about last night, when you had dinner in that Italian restaurant?
So you know about that, too, huh?
I know about everything, except why you're doing this.
Why?
Yeah. You say you're nuts about him? Well, maybe you are, or were. What do you get out of it?
I'm with him. That's enough for now. Someday, well, maybe I'll have more than that.
Having to watch every word you say, having him jump on you with both feet even when he's not really mad at you, if it's something else. He's so far off the beam that he'll never get back. Certainly not with you. So why don't you get wise to yourself? Why don't you give him up?
And why don't you mind your own business?
Opening the door of the big car, Diane gets out, slams it behind her, and walks into the hospital without looking back. For a moment, Pete Steele continues to sit there. Then, his face expressionless, he gets out of the car also, crosses the street, and goes into a phone booth.
Hello?
Mrs. Wayne?
Yes?
This is Pete Steele. I don't know whether you remember me. We met just once when you were here in New York.
Why, yes, Mr. Steele. Of course I remember you.
I hope I'm not disturbing you.
No, I was reading.
Oh, that's good. How's your boy?
Richard? Why, he's fine.
I suppose you're wondering what this is all about, why I'm calling you.
Yes, I am.
Well, I happen to be a pretty good friend of your husband's, even though he may not think so. And also a friend of yours. Mrs. Wayne, would there be any chance of your coming to New York again for a while?
Coming to New... But why?
I just think that if you could, it would be a smart thing to do.
Has anything happened to John? Is anything wrong?
Maybe. After all, I wouldn't call you without a reason, would I?
No, but... What is it?
I'm sorry, but I'd rather not say. Will you come?
I'm afraid I can't, Mr. Steele.
Can't? Why not?
Because, well, there are evidently a few things you don't understand. And one of them is, I couldn't come unless John wanted me to.
I see. Well, if you still care about him, if you're even interested in him, I'd advise you to forget about that and come anyway. And the sooner the better. Goodbye.
Slowly, Ruth puts down the phone. But beyond that, she makes no move. The big grandfather clock behind her ticks away, marking off the seconds that are slipping away into oblivion. Then, abruptly, she picks up the receiver again, dials.
Hello?
John?
Why, yes, Ruth. What is it?
Nothing. I'm awfully sorry to be calling you so late.
Well, that's all right. Has anything happened?
No, John. At least nothing here in Glen Falls.
What do you mean, Ruth?
Well, I've been very concerned about you, you know that, and I just wanted to find out if everything was all right.
All right. Everything's wonderful. I was out to a concert tonight, Ruth. Had a fine walk home.
John, something is wrong, I can tell, And you still haven't given me any final answer on what I spoke to you about last week. About coming home for a while. Don't you think it would be good for you? I know it would be good for Richard.
Ruth, for heaven's sake, I told you I'd let you know. But I wanted to think about it. Will you leave me alone? Please?
Yes, John, of course. And I'm awfully sorry. Goodbye.
Again, Ruth puts down the phone. But she still does not go back upstairs. Instead, she walks across the living room to one of the windows. And without putting on any of the lights, she stands there, staring out into the black and starless night. And now, a message from our sponsor. Join us tomorrow on Big Sister. John Scott speaking. Big Sister is a modern drama production.